Hey there, have you ever dreamed of owning a second home? Maybe like a cozy getaway spot or a place to escape the heat in the summers? So if that's a yes, you're at the right place. Today, I'm gonna go over the world of buying a second home or vacation home. My name's Kevin Brierton, certified mortgage planning specialist with Neo Home Loans, and I'll guide you through the steps, especially what you need to focus on the mortgage side. So it might sound complicated, but don't really worry. Let's take some of that stress away and make it a little more simple and hopefully a little bit, maybe some fun sprinkled in there too. So first off, buying a second home is an exciting adventure, but when it comes to its own, it has its own rules to kind of abide by. The big question is, what's the purpose of a second home? Is it for vacations, or are you thinking of it as an investment home? Now, it's super important because that changes how your loan's set up. It's important to be honest and clear with your loan officer that's setting this up as well. Otherwise, you can have ramifications down the road. Now, if your eyes on a home for vacations or getaways, you can get a loan that's specifically for a second home. Think vacation home, second home. And it's pretty cool because that means you could put down as little as 10% down and really get started on making some memories in that second home. But there's a little twist. If you're planning on renting it out and you're not going to use it, there's a special form you'll need to know about, and there's a second home rider, and then lays out the rules of what you can do when you're renting out your place. The second home rider is like a promise when you get a loan. It says something like that you'll use the house as a second home and not use it as a long-term rental agreement, or not enter into long-term rental agreements. You can do short-term rentals like Airbnb, but you have to be the boss of who stays there when they stay there and when they are out of there. That's really important. You have to make sure you have access to the property, and there's some guidelines where that's really important that you don't give up your own access to the property. This way you can still enjoy the home and maybe make some money along the way when you're not there, and that's okay, but you cannot sign a long-term lease or give up control of the property. What if your plans change? You think about renting it out long-term or use it differently in the future, right? Well, then that's what you call as an investment home. That's a whole different game. So if you're gonna rent it out or use it as an investment home to rent, there's different down payment amounts and different interest rates typically. And it's all about making sure you and your lender are kind of on the same page so you don't have any surprises. If you don't set this up at the beginning, the lender could do they could call your loan due. So for example, if you bought a second home, right, quote unquote second home, and you started renting it out day one on a long-term rental, then they might actually ask for your loan to be paid back immediately. Now, I actually just saw that happen with not one of our loans, but somebody else's loans in the area. And I actually talked to the client about it. They're trying to figure out a solution. That was actually on a primary residence. So it's really important. They actually said they were going to buy it as a primary. Things changed. They never moved in. He decided to rent it out, and their loan was called due. So when they call it due, that means you need to pay it back right away. Otherwise, you could have problems. And you never want to have problems when it comes down to lying about your application. So you want to be very clear. I understand there's some gray, which is totally fine, but when you have no intention of ever using it as a second home for personal use or ever moving in there as a primary residence, and that's where the big challenge is. So I know this can be daunting, so don't worry. The key is to chat with your mortgage lender right at the beginning, figuring this out, how they're going to lay it out, what they recommend, and make sure they're your guide to walk you through it and pick the right path so you can really start your second home adventure, because second homes can be very fruitful. Again, you can make a little bit of money on it, but also use it for your primary, or for your use, whether it's a cabin in the woods to escape the heat like we have in Arizona, or a beachfront condo. Knowing the rules makes all the difference. So here's a pro tip. The type of home matters too. Condos have their own set of rules, and that might actually come with maybe a slightly higher interest rate or other hurdles or extra fees. That's why it's super important to do your homework and talk through things ahead of time with your lender, and they can help you understand all the costs and your down payment, your monthly payment, and everything that's going to go into it. So whether you're dreaming of a vacation home or an investment home, or maybe even a new primary residence, keep in mind you can actually buy a vacation home or investment home if you don't even have a home. So think about that. If you could buy your second home before your first home, and that's okay. And sometimes that's a great idea. It can work out really well. Reach out to an experienced mortgage lender like us here. Again, my name is Kevin Brierton, certified mortgage planning specialist. I'm at Neo Home Loans and the Brierton team. That's really the first step. So the key is to do a call. Typically, the lender's not going to ask for credit pull right away. Just think through it, figure it out. If you have any questions, drop any comments below, hit the subscribe button. We're here for you as well on that. And if you want to talk through it, go to mortgagestrategycall.com. Again, that's mortgagestrategycall.com. And we'd be honored to help put a plan together, DM us, and we'll jump into action, okay? Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.